we begin top 4 with Mura against MLB. Mura going first here. And I would say Mura has a tougher matchup against MLB given that it's a force and an 18k base as well. So we do see the Yasui dropping a Tenma here. Preparing for the restand. He rides the Winger Brave here, calling the Winger Brave, ensuring the double on hit here. If it does go off, it's very strong. He's contemplating, Mura plays contemplating with the guard. I feel he should, but it's only maximum 1 pass, which is very risky to be honest, because if he does open a crit there, it might be game over. But he gets MLB there, and with that body language, looks like he needed that MLB there. He rides the Grade 2 Fushimi there. Personally, I would still swing Vanguard, even though Fushimi can swing the Winger Brave, given the fact that because MLB has an 18k body, you will want to push as much damage as you can as early as possible, because once they hit the 18k, every attack that you may have is actually very small and might not even hit the MLB, to be honest. So it does use the order there to get the Blaster Duck. We shall see whether there's any follow-up play. Will he be able to commit the 4 rare card here to pressure with the on crit, 2 crit Blaster Blade? You do see an Allen in his hand. Yep, he does commit the Allen. Who will be calling Liver Rod? No, he calls the Blaster Duck early. This might be a sign that he's confident that he might have another Blaster Duck in hand, since he's calling it out very early. I would say this is a a foul play right here, given that he does draw already, then calling the Blaster Duck after, then shifting the Allen to another position. Apologies for not catching it in game, because once you have draw an additional card, I don't think it's nice for you to actually commit your rear guards to another column. This is a sign of cheating. But okay, we will just take it as 1 foul for the MLB player here. Apologies for not catching it in game. And the Mura player doesn't mind it as well, so we shall give it to him. And he does open the crit there, and that's 3 damage right off the bat. Oh dear, this is not looking good for the Mura player. Already 4-1. Actually hits the Blaster Blade off the Winger Brave Surge. And then he eats the 5th damage because that's a very big column. Rides into the Yasui here, a good start, because Yasui VR is always the best first right target if you're going first on Yasui. He does commit the 2 1-eyed, so he can actually replicate 2 more 1-eyed from the deck. Yasui player is thinking very hard on how he should handle the situation. Given he's already at 5, and then we do see an oncoming 3-4 Swan from the MLB turn. So this is actually quite scary. We do see the Awazu committed there. So Awazu is a very key card introduced rather to Mura. So he does drop the Withering Flower there. So most likely he's going to copy the Great One here, because usually in the most optimal, I would say, feel for Yasui in the first ride is you want to see the Great One double there, because once you spawn an extra circle, you want the extra circle to be filled. So only the Great One can actually superior call something during the battle phase. So as demonstrated here by the Mura player, he actually does call the One Night and the Withering Flower. He actually calls the Great 2 12k there, which actually is an interesting tag by him. From his deck list, he actually just run a one off. So if you happen to ride it, it's very good. So he does swing with the Yasui like this, which is a 12k, but against a 10k Vanguard, 15k is still 2 pass. Not a bad attack. No guts here, opens the front, which is very good to see, especially when you have a full field like that. So he'll be dropping the cost for Yasui here. Let's drop the Yasui VR here. Most likely his hand does have another one, because usually for Yasui players, they will want to have one more Yasui VR in hand to guarantee for the next strike, because if you are on 10-man Vanguard, it's not exactly the best Vanguard you're hoping for. So he does swing with the One Night boosted 10-man. I mean the 10-man boosted by the One Night there, which is a 24k against the 20k. Opens a Shiryuki here. Very good, but he actually opens the heal there, so neglecting the front trigger that the Mura player have opened. He just swings the Blaster Duck there, which is a very heads up play, because you want to kill off the Blaster Duck in the chance that MLB does commit recklessly the pieces that he may have. So you want to challenge that piece. It's a lever out there. Because of the front trigger getting nullified, the MLB does have a simpler time to guard. Wow, it looks like it's going to eat this damage here. Drops the heal, and the One Night skill does proc, and then he draws 2. Right into the MLB here, getting a force 1 to the side. But the fact that because the Mura player is already at 5 damage, this is looking very scary. A slight misplay there from the MLB player. He actually uses Corner Blast 1 for the Blaster Duck, but then the effect for Blaster Duck is actually on place ability. So he does commit the order here. So in the field currently, he can only search Blaster Blade. He does search it. He calls a Blaster Blade here. Most likely he's going to commit the skill. Yep, he does. Or he'll be Soul Blasting here. Most likely the Winger Brave. Yep. Retiring most likely the... not sure, but the best target actually will be retire the Withering Flower there. Withering Flower, sorry, which is the Great One double, as I mentioned. It's a very strong superior core effect for Yasui, especially during the battle phase. So he actually has to force a Soul Charge there because of the Great One behind. And then he Soul Charge a heal trigger, not the most fortunate thing to happen to him. Since the Blaster Duck Link column first, which is a 27k, forcing a 20k guard. A magic number against Excel, since Excel Vanguards are only 12k. And the fact that the Mura player can't actually eat any damage this turn, he actually has to guard this 3 force 1 turn. which is very devastating in my opinion. But we do remember that he does have a Shirayuki in hand, so will he be able to play around Shirayuki, or will he be using it aggressively if he does survive this turn? Actually throws a Shirayuki there, yep, so he's going to use it defensively, minusing 10k to 3 attacking units. So instead of a 20k guard, it's now minus 10k, so it's only a 10k guard. So suck in 2 units for the MLB. Where will he be placing the markers? Since everything is minusing 10k from the Shirayuki effect, most likely the logical play will be put one in the middle and one to the side. Going for an all middle marker here is going to be a very greedy move because your side wouldn't be able to hit anything. Yeah, so he does put it to the side. Apologies for not adjusting the marker there. I understand it might be frustrating for some of you to witness it. Not sure why he placed the marker like that, but okay, we still see a critical trigger there. Another critical trigger there. So actually it's essentially plus 20k with the force marker there. So it's a hitting for... Sorry, let me count. A 30k guard there, I believe. So sorry, can't really quick math there. So he actually has the Yasui Tenma, I mean the Yasui VR once again, but we do see from his hand, he's not looking exactly very nice. So his hand has only 2 triggers and 1 Fushimi. So the problem with Yasui, actually, the weakness rather, is that the deck actually still relies on rear guards. So if you don't draw any of the rear guards, or you're being forced to throw away your rear guards, you actually lose your feel. So in this case, he can only copy Fushimi and the Great One Weathering Flower. Not the worst, but it could have been better if he does have One Night Steal, and or rather Tenmas itself, because Tenmas can actually hit against MLB pretty hard himself. But we do see 3 Weathering Flowers on the field, so we will see a burst in power here. And will we be able to see a front trigger here, which might potentially end the game. So swings the MLB against the 18k Vanguard is still a trigger pass, but 10k guard will be a 2 pass. So will we be able to see a guard? MLB is currently at 4 damage, so a front trigger here might be lethal. So MLB plays counting triggers here to make sure, you know, what is the better guard option. But 2 to pass here will be the best window to guard here, given the fact that the Weathering Flower on the Excel Circle can't hit MLB. So he goes for the 2 pass there, twin drives, not hitting a front there but a heal, you know, it's always good to see triggers. So where will he be pushing the power at? So he powers to the 12k rear guard, then using Tenma skill, using Yasui's skill, dropping 2 to superior right into Tenma there. So you see, as you can see, the Weathering Flower skills proc together, calling 2 Yasui Tenmas. How nice is that? So Yasui Tenma swings Vanguard like this for just 20k guard, 20k power. A 15k will be a 2 pass here once again. He no guards here, opens the front, but he opens a huge trigger and actually goes off, minusing away the 10k trigger, nullifying the front trigger, sorry, and then eating 1 free damage. Oh dear, not looking good for the Yasui player here. What he would have needed there in that turn would be Shirayuki, sorry, but sadly he has to force it defensively because he was already at 5 damage in the previous turn. Very unfortunate for the Mura player, but the Mura player will still continue to push damage and hopefully be able to end this game. Doesn't hit the trigger there, so a lot of poke damage is coming down, but given that MLB does have a rather healthy hand, I would say, so he will be able to guard this turn effectively. And then Yasui is only at 4 hand size, not looking the greatest. Bottom deck's the Vanguard with the Tenma skill, so one thing about the Tenma rear guard is that actually when he attacks, it plus 10k to himself, a mandatory skill, and then after end of the battle, you retire himself, which is good for your Yasui, and then you can actually put one of your open rear guards back to the bottom deck. So actually that card does do well against certain decks, especially in a mirror match, because you're not putting it back to the drop zone, you're actually putting it back to deck, and then when you put something back to deck, usually drop zone effects doesn't exist anymore. So it's actually a very decent skill. He commits the Allen here, calls the Lever Rod, drawing 1. Most likely gonna use the Lever Rod skill here, yes. Given the fact that Mura did heal to 4 damage in the previous turn, he might be able to afford to eat 1 damage here if MLB doesn't open a critical trigger. But we do see a star-cost Superior Chord. Most likely he's going to take back the Blaster Blade or Blaster Dart from the drop zone, as well as the Order. Oh, he'll be Soul Blasting. He's Soul Blasting the way the Blaster Blade there. Superior calling the Blaster Blade and then getting the Order. Will he be committing the skill there to retire a 5k shoes? And he does. Given that it's most likely the final turn, this is most likely the right play. Soul Blasting a great one here. Retiring the 5k shoe. Yep, there's no other good target there. Using the Order here to search for Blaster Dart. Yep, he does have the most likely the final Blaster Dart in the deck. Cause the critical trigger here to push for more damage. Given that the Yasui's hand is only at 4, this is looking like a lethal push from the MLB player. So props to him, and then when you suck in 2 units, which is a critical trigger there, you grant 2 more markers. So this is most likely the most optimal play. Swings the Blaster Blade column first, eats the damage confidently. Oh, he actually hits the side. Oh dear. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a Kanzen here, which would have secured the guard, so he actually puts all marker to the middle, being very confident that Mura doesn't have a negate at all. Does he make the right move? I would say it's a very risky play from him, since you actually just swung a 25k lane to a 9k rear guard, when he could have forced more shields if you just hit the face. Just kick out for 1 pass there, gets a draw trigger here, power to the middle, which is 2 criticals, and gets another crit to secure it to push to 7. Almost I see it, yeah, it's it. So now we move on to game 2. Will Mura be able to make a comeback here? Right into the Grade 3 Surger there. It's always good to see the Grade 3 Surger introduced into every new set. It's the MLB's turn, right into the Allen there, drawing 1 and getting a quick shoe. Swings with the Allen unboosted, no more Vanguard Brave this turn. Sorry, this time. No guards there. Try check into a MLB. Most likely this is what he's looking for anyway. So very, I would say lucky drive check for the MLB player. He rides into the Fushimi there, swings like this again. Try check into Yasui VR, very good because that's what you want to ride next turn anyway. So will the MLB actually punish this play, given the fact that The Mura didn't commit any rear guard at all, so will he be able to force 4 rear guards through the Buster Blade? But he actually just calls the Buster Blade down like this. But he does hit the trigger there, and same damage trigger for the Mura player. I kind of don't like this play because you do force your Buster Blade down, and then you risk it going to a drop zone. But I mean, you wouldn't mind, but at the same time, it might be better to keep it in hand. But he did eventually force a one-hand cut guard from the Mura player. So he's just a great tree searcher there, but misses. I think he was hoping to hit the one knight there, you know. Oh, he does have the one knight in hand, so it doesn't matter. He calls the one knight and calls the Fushimi there. So which one will be cloning? Most likely the one knight and the Fushimi. Yup, he does. Point to that 2 units, calling the one knight as well as the Fushimi. Given the fact that Mura is going first this turn, this is very advantage for him because he can push damage before the MLB 18k base is in, I would say, online. So swings the Yasui Vanguard like this. Will he be able to open a front trigger to seal the game here? 20k will be a 2-pass here. Throws 20k guard, opens one front, a double front, ouch! This is very painful for the MLB player. He drops 2 to superior right to the Tenma here. And now you see the front rear guards are getting buffed 2 times of triggers because of the 2 front. Using the Weathering Flower here to clone the Fushimi there. Very well played. So swings with the Vanguard. But Fushimi is just only a 10k guard here. It's still more reliable. I mean, it's still devastating because he's pushing more than a 5k shield. So the quick shield in hand doesn't work. So swings with the Tenma here, 20k. No front there. But okay, now he is a damage trigger, so now it nullifies 1 front trigger. But it's still 1 front bonus to the front row rear guards. As you can see the Great Tree Searcher there, as well as the Fushimi lanes hitting very hard. So now he's reconsidering because he does eat a second damage trigger. So my advice to all the players is to always play it slow, eat 1 damage at a time, then decide what's your next move. Do not hint to your opponent that you're going to eat all the damage in one go. So he rides to the MLB there, getting a force run to the Buster Blade column, which is the casual, I would say the common play. He actually commits the great one there. No, he's rethinking it once again. He does have a second MLB in hand. Oh, just swings it like this. Interesting play. Most likely no lever rod and no, I'll say plus engine in hand. So most likely he's keeping the shields in hand. Swings the Buster Blade at the Fushimi once again. Swing with the MLB, sucking 2 units. But there's no Blaster Duck inside, so it's only a twin drive. Twin drives, but he gets it. So heads up guard from the I would say Mura player there. Most likely he's going to get the revenge in this game, since he now has 3 XL markers against a 13k base MLB, not the 18k one. So this turn should be lethal. But given the fact that he doesn't have any damage to work with, so he couldn't clone more units, but the fact that the resend is technically free, this is looking very good for the Mura player. Actually drops a Shirayuki there. No, yeah, it drops a Shirayuki there. So I would say one very good play for Murakumo now is that the fact that even though Shira is limited to 1, if you do mill it with the Awazu, you can actually get it back with the Rainy Madam. So it's a very interesting play there that I'm pointing out to you, Yasui players. He does open 2 fronts here. Ouch. So there's 4 fronts. Most likely this is going to be lethal. He's contemplating to eat. Yeah, he eats it. Pushing it to 5 already. Going to be the last damage. And then it's game 3. So now we move on to game 3 here. But the MLB does go first in this game. So not the best, I'll say best case scenario for the Mura player here. But he does open a draw trigger, which is very complimentary, since that he'll be guarding MLB first. Does he have the Blaster Duck here? We have not seen a Blaster Duck play here. So he does try to Blaster Blade again. Will he be able to commit the 4 rear guards? He does use the Order Search to search for the Blaster Duck. So using a lever out skill here to search most likely a Blaster Rapier, since he does play that card. Yep, he does call the Blaster Rapier. Now, will he be able to achieve the 2 more rear guards for the Blaster Blade requirement of additional critical? So he does commit a Winger Brave. He does have another Winger Brave there. Swings the Blaster Rapier first to check the top card. Not happy with it, you put it to the bottom. So he does eat it there. Will it be a Confident No Guard or 1 pass guard? We shall see how the Mura player reacts. He actually goes for the 1 pass. Nope, no trigger there. Very risky play, but it paid off. So because of the Winger Brave hit, he actually searched top 7. So we do see a lot of triggers there flashed by the MLB player, but he does hit the Blaster Duck here. But not sure if you can witness, you actually witness the deck is actually all jumbled up. So I think I did point out to them, and the Mura player is going to help shuffle for him. Okay, so the Mura player does extend his help to help me arrange. Look at how fast the Mura player hand is. So this is better for you audiences who are watching it behind the screen. So I do apologize on behalf of the MLB player here. Most likely he's a new player, so that's why his cards are not exactly in the most, I would say, well-mannered way. So the shuffling has finally been done after hitting the search for the Winger Brave. So how will the Yasui plays? Will he be able to explode? Also, sorry, he actually is only on grade 2. So no, there's nothing to explode here. Most likely it's going to be on right and a swing. So he does swing with the Awazu right. He does boost it to ensure there's 1 damage. No, he's thinking about it. He know. Yep. So just ease the front here. Pushing 1 damage. Hits the MLB to the drop zone. I mean damage zone. So very good and very lucky for the Mura player. But he does have the MLB after all. So how will he be placing the marker here? I would say the correct play would be to put the marker to the Blaster Rapier's column. But I could be wrong. Most likely he's going to not suck in the Blaster Rapier. That's why he leave it on the side. Using the order here to search Blaster Blade. Given in the previous turn, he does ride the Blaster Blade, so he just have to suck in the Blaster Dart in this turn. So how will he be able to suck in this turn? Yep, so he does eventually move the marker there. So I would like to point out that once you actually put the marker in one designated location, for example on the left side of the rearguard, please refrain from moving your markers further because it's actually considered a fault move. But I believe the Mura player is nice, so he does allow the replay there, giving the MLB the chance. But as you guys already know, the MLB does reach the finals, so Mura giving a chance there have allowed him to be defeated by this MLB player. So he does put 2 markers. I mean, he does gain 2 markers there, 1 to each side. A Kanzen is forced here, dropping the quick shoe. A triple drive. We do see a first crit. And a second crit once again, that's 3 damage. Oh, he does force a negate once again, but his hand is only at like 3 hand size. Not looking good for the Mura player at all, unless he does have the one eye to recover from this situation. And now the fact that the MLB is already on 18k base, the online is already online, and he's only at 2 damage, it's going to be such an uphill battle for the Mura player. Even any damage trigger at this point will be very painful. He does commit 3 regards there, most likely gonna clone the Rainy Madam and the Yasui Tenma there. But unfortunately, we do not see a Shirayuki in the drop zone yet. If he does, the Rainy Madam would have came in clutch for him. But unfortunately, we do see him riding the Awazu in the previous turn, so doesn't allow him to have the new option in this, I would say, recovery turn. Swings with the Yasui here, swinging at the Vanguard, which is 1 to pass. A 5k will be a 2 to pass here. So Gasu Lever Rod. So Mind Game was being played by the Mura player here. He asking him whether he should guard or no pass there. And the MLB player has swayed his decision. So he guards for no pass there. He does hit 2 blanks, but MLB is very happy that this happened. Drops 2 cards to superior right to the Yasui here. But given the fact that there's no Withering Flower, Withering Flower on the Yasui's player field, as you can see, you don't get to Superior Call 1 more regards to the Excel Circle, and then this is going to be very underwhelming. So swings with Yasui Tenma there, which is at least a 10k guard. No, sorry, a 5k guard because it's only 22k. So he does use 2 Yasui Tenma skills to bring back the 2 Winger Brave to the bottom deck. But the hand size of the Yasui's hand is not looking very healthy, and then we're going to see 5 Force 1 markers during MLB's turn. But he's at 2 damage, so there's still hope. We do see him eat the damage. Another swing. He gets it, and that's the end of the turn for the Yasui player. He does commit the Allen there, calling blasting 1 to draw 1 card. No, calling 1 card first, then drawing 1 card after. He does commit the Blaster Blade there to draw 1 card. Maybe using the Blaster Blade skill, he does, popping off the Grade 2 12k there, which doesn't have a shield value, but it's still a -1 for the Mura player. Commits a second island there, counting blasting 1. Super calling the Blaster Dart. Moving the Blaster Blade. Oh, he actually does have the second MLB. And this is not looking good at all. Since 2 Kanzen was already committed in the previous turn for the Mura player, this might be the lethal here. So swing with the Blaster Blade column first. Trying to hope for a damage trigger here. Hits a heal trigger, but given the fact that MLB is going to spawn so much marker 1, the damage trigger is quite insignificant, I would say. So he does put 1 marker to each side again, and he no guts. Opens a crit here, which is lethal already, and opens another crit. Ouch! So that pushes to 7 damage. He does open a heal here. So there's still 2 more damage to take. Will he be able to luck out on the last heal here? He does open the front trigger there, and it's game. Thank you for watching till the end, and do subscribe for more content such as this, and do follow me on Twitter for Decklist retweets.